Welcome back, everybody. We are live for episode 36 of the Jader and Kyle Show. Coming back at you with another great episode coming in. As always, I am joined by my esteemed co-host, Mr. Jader Baramo. Jader, what's going on, man?
What up, man? Super
Big week
excited.
for you.
Big week, dude. Let me tell you, man.
Big week for
Uh,
you.
is that like a play on words that we're doing over here?
Big week for little Jader. Is that what we're doing?
There you go. There you go, man. There you go.
No.
But
You got a lot going on in your world, man. You're about to get drafted in 2 days. Are you excited?
hopefully, man. Hopefully, I don't know for sure. But I am excited. I'm not gonna lie, man. I missed the game. I've been catching up on movies. Um, I was kind of taking a break, obviously, because of school and all that. But the draft, the league is getting so much more serious. A lot of rookies are standing out. A lot of rookies are shaking some trees over there in the Schmodown world. So I don't want to be forgotten, man. I just want. There's a reason why I'm here. I've always said it's destiny, man. I've always, there's a reason why I watch all these films and with my love for film. And I feel like for my rookie year, I felt like I did all right. I at least put a little imprint on the
You
Schmodown.
earned your
People are talking about us. Exactly. So I just want to keep that. I want to have a good sophomore year, man. Again, I'm not saying that I'm going to take belts or anything like that. I'm just going to win a couple, man, and just be there and then just slowly start climbing up that ladder.
Just one match at a time. You got to be ready for it. Today for the show, I'm really excited for this episode because we're running into one of those instances where it's a movie that we're not all universally on board for. And usually, Jader, let's peek behind the curtain here. Usually, you're coming in last minute with all your with all your research. You just get in there and you're like, all right, I'm going to answer the questions as we go along. Today, That's me. That's me. And I'll explain.
It's funny. It's funny, man. Sorry to interrupt, but I was actually talking to Steve right beforehand, and I'm like, "Hey, we're running a little late." I'm like, which is fucking the craziest shit ever because I'm always late, and I'm like, but for once, I'm not. I'm actually on time today. I'm like ready to talk this film. So go ahead.
And yeah, I mean, we're not going to talk about this film alone. You came to me earlier this week and said, no, I got a very cool guest booked, ready to go. So, Jader, I kind of want you to set this up. Who do we have on the show today?
Oh, man, we have Mr. High Noon, a.k.a. Sam Suarez, or Sam Suarez, a.k.a. High Noon. I don't know how you want it. That's
There
my
he
boy.
is.
One of the best
Noon,
tattoo artists in the game.
High
You need a
noon,
tat.
baby.
What's good, man? Glad to have you on the show.
Big fan of the show. Big fan of the show. I love what you guys do, man. Dope shit.
Thank you so much, man. I know you always reach out, man. You're always like, yo, man, what's up, Jay? Hit me up. When are we gonna talk some movies? We always like to bullshit. It's funny, man. I'm gonna give you a quick story on how I met Hi. He used to work for a tattoo shop down here in South Florida in Miami, very well known shop named Chico's. And I went to go get my Joker tattoo that I have on my leg. And he wasn't the artist that was gonna do my tattoo. I remember him walking in, everybody saying welcome back, welcome back. So I guess he had left. I didn't know who he was. But I remember he took a look at that tattoo and he looks at me, he goes, yo, let me do that shit for you. Like, not knowing this man whatsoever, but he's like, I need to draw this shit. And then a buddy of mine was doing it, Dan Doyle, which you know Doyle really well. So Doyle was doing it, and then Doyle's like, man, back the fuck up, man. Let me do this shit, like all this shit. Like, I got very special pricing because I wanted to do this shit so bad that he's like, no, he's not gonna do it for this price, and I'm doing it for this price. Fuck you, get on the chair. And then I remember that Sam, we started just hitting it off with music and comics, and started deep diving and shit. And he actually showed me Justice League War. It had just dropped. I had never seen it. So while I was getting tatted, I was watching some cartoons with him, and we just started shooting the shit, man. And it's been a hell of a ride ever since, man. Me and him always, as movie drops, we'll message each other. Blah, 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 this is what I'm doing. What do you think? Well, I think this. We discussed Batman versus Superman on the show, but before that, I had discussed that with Sam. And I remember him and I kind of like the same shit. Like, oh man, they fucking stepbrothers this movie. Like the whole Martha's like that was the first thing we talked about. And he's like, right, bro, what the fuck?
And it was right after opening night, before all those memes started rolling out. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah. No, actually, you saw it because I saw it earlier, and you had seen it already. I think you went to a special screening. One of your buddies took you or some shit. Because I know we saw that shit, and then I'm like, they're gonna have a field day with this shit, and then boom, and then it happened. And then when you saw the first meme, you sent it to me. You're like, yo, I fucking told you, man.
Yep.
You know. But yeah, dude. Go ahead, man. The floor is yours, man.
Well, I want to take a time out real quick. Is that a PlayStation 5 in the back that I see there?
No,
goddamn right.
That's the 4. The 5 is in the bedroom.
Oh shit! Of course he's got a PlayStation 5. You how impossible it is to find that.
I mean, if you guys want to look, bro, it's
oh god,
there, you know. with the Xbox One,
Oh, of course.
Series X. Sorry, my bad. Series X. But yeah, man. All right, go ahead.
Noon. Yeah, please introduce yourself. Who are you?
My name is High Noon, world-renowned tattoo artist extraordinaire. Brooklyn represent, Miami represent, Texas represent. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here in the Lone Star State right now. But yeah, man, a big fan of everything pop culture, man. Like everything from video games to cartoons to movies to comic books.
Music.
Music, definitely. I got my hand in all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like basically drawing comic books professionally is what got me tattooing. So I was already a published comic book artist before I ever picked up a tattoo machine. So and then music, I've been doing music ever since high school, man. Like I've been doing music with some like real deep down south hip hop cats like B Dope and like Last Straws, School Days, you know what I'm saying?
School Days, holy shit.
Unknown
Fleet,
Dope shit. You know, DJ Coupe DeVille, like, you know, cats like that, old school cats. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is that those cats is like becoming a lot more active now, which is
it always takes time, man. It always takes time, you know. You gotta grind until you get, you know. Not everybody. I mean, I feel like the hip hop game now is more it's a who you know thing, because it's not based on fucking lyrics. You get me? It's not based on talent. No offense, bro. I don't know who listens to the music now, man, but I can't get behind a lot of the rappers now, you know. But that's a whole nother show, man. That's a whole nother show, because I'm about to like just, you know.
But there's a lot of talent over here in Texas too, man, that you got to check out, man. Like I've been meeting a lot of people. My boy Pac Manson, he's doing some big things out here. My boy Raw Truth, you know what I'm saying? The Wolf Pack. We did a couple videos over here and stuff already. So yeah, they definitely got some stuff moving over here. And all right. I would like to bridge that gap, you know what I'm saying, from Texas to Miami.
Of course, man. Of course. You said earlier that before you picked up a tattoo machine, you were drawing. What exactly were you drawing? Where were you drawing? What was going on with that? Let's get a little background on that.
Okay. Back in the day, this is back when you could do unsolicited submissions to companies. Now you can't just send your stuff out to companies, but back in the day you could. And it was a whole like process to do it or whatever. So I went through the process and I got through to Jason Liebig, who was the assistant of Jim Shooter at the time. Jim Shooter was the EIC of Marvel Comics. Yeah. And so they hit me up to do my first debut episode. It was going to be a issue of X Factor.
Wow.
Yeah,
real dope.
It was like number 120 something, I think, something like that, whatever. And they sent me the script and everything like that, and I got started on it right away. Unfortunately, at the time, my personal life was a big mess, and I missed my opportunity to like really hit for the big leagues on that one. You know what I mean? But you know, it all worked out because I ended up tattooing instead, and
and tattooing has gotten you to some places. Where can people find you tattooing? Obviously, we said Texas, but we also, I think I've seen you on TV before, right?
Yeah. I've done. We did a little show called Tattoo Nightmares Miami. It debuted on Spike TV in 2014.
Yeah, and,
man. Now you can catch it on Prime. You know, If you got Prime or whatever, you can see me 20 pounds heavier.
Yeah, bro. You and I mean, and rest in peace to your boy Bill Cliff. I know that was a hard loss for you, man. We've talked about this. I lost my best friend the same way to cancer. Actually, Kyle lost his mother to that not too long ago too. But bro, your collabs, bro. You guys together were fucking hilarious, bro. You know,
That's
you
my
guys are
boy,
funny.
man. He's always gonna be with me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like regardless, you know what I'm saying, of wherever he's at physically, he's always gonna be with me. And you know, we just had a journey that nobody else is gonna know what we went through. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else on this world will know what we went through when we filmed that show. And
No, for sure, man.
yeah, man.
Look, you got a question right there. I don't know if you want to bring that back up. It says, "Where in Texas are you?" We have a nice following there.
Fort Worth, Texas. Yes, right
there you go.
Dallas.
Yeah, right by Dallas, bro. Hell yeah. That's the airport I always landed every time.
So
every time I go to Texas.
When you come
I called you one time. That I landed. I had like a 3-hour layaway, but you were like, "Yo, I'm not even." You were like not in town. You're like, "I think you were in Miami." I was like, "Fuck." But yeah, dude. But yeah, man. I mean,
I gotta ask this. I've never really had a chance to talk to a tattoo artist before, so I want to know, like, what's it like when you're just sitting there knowing that you're putting ink on someone's body, and like just one little screw up, they could get super pissed at you. I'm sure you've had that fear when you first started doing it, right?
Oh man, you want to talk about fear? My first tattoo took about like 5 hours to do. If I was to do it like right now, it would take me a half an hour to do it. But I was a sweating, nervous little bitch, man.
What was the first shop you worked for, or did you do it at home first, practice or whatever, or you did the whole apprenticeship?
Well, I first started off in the flea market down south on US 1.
Oh shit! Not with Columbia though, right?
No,
not with Alcoholics.
No, not with Columbia. It was with what's his face, with Mouse and
Okay.
The guy to do all the portraits. I forgot what his name.
No, I know exactly. I know who you're talking. I know Mouse. I've heard the name before for sure.
Right. This is right before, because you remember Red used to work over there too, and this is right when Red started his apprenticeship too. So, but
Jesus Christ.
I started there, and then the first shop that I worked at was at Bison Tattoos on down south too on the highway on US 1. And then I found my way to Chico's.
Gotcha. So 5 hours to do a 30-minute tattoo.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Oh my god. So what do you like to draw then? When you if someone came to you and said, "Put anything that you want on me," what would you put?
Ah man, some superhero shit.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of your favorite comic book heroes or superheroes? Like, what do you like to do?
Well, Spider-Man, has to be the top, and now like the Miles Morales Spider-Man is like right up there with the Peter Parker Spider-Man as far as I'm concerned. But I'm usually kind of like straddling the fence between two things. So I'm Marvel and I'm DC. I love Star Trek as well as Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see the need to like kind of
pick a side and all that.
Yeah, man, I love it all.
The same thing with me. I got Xbox, I got PlayStation, bro. I like them both, man. It is what it is,
Just showing off.
Man. You can have some column A and some column B. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I tend to always and you again, it's the same thing for me. Like, as much as that I have obviously a Batman tattoo, but I am like crazy obsessed with Spider-Man. I eventually want to get a Spider-Man tattoo, so we'll talk soon about that.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. Like, I just love some of the DC storylines because they really do get very, very, very dark. And then for me, the Marvel comics are just fun to read, man. They've always been really fun, as well as having a dark side to them. But it's just the kid in me with the Marvel that I absolutely love. I'm gonna actually say something. One of my favorite tats that I've ever seen you do, man, was the Incredible Hulk, where it starts off with Banner crouching down, and and it's expanding like that, and you just see the Hulk in the back. One of the sickest things I've ever seen, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm gonna send it to you, Kyle, so you can see it. I'm gonna try to find it on his page, but it's so dope. I remember when you first did that, it like fucking blew my mind. Actually, he tatted my best friend. He tatted my best friend twice. He did that crazy Cesar Romero,
The Joker.
Heath Ledger. No, but it was Cesar, Heath, and Jack Nicholson mixed in one face. It was some dope shit. Yeah, he wanted like the best of all Jokers. So he had like the
it was the eyes of Ledger, the eyes of Heath Ledger,
the mouth of it was
Jack.
the mouth of Jack and the hair of Romero. Yeah. Super dope. You did the Two-Face on him, the Aaron Eckhart Two-Face. You did the Catwoman on him.
Yes.
Yeah, you've done some dope shit on him, man.
Yes. Man, wait till I get you in the chair.
No, you have no idea. No, I already have 2 ideas. I trust me, bro. I'm already like, this is what I want to do, bro. But we're definitely gonna do it because I want to do a comic book leg. It's been a minute since I got tatted. I haven't fucking gotten tatted in maybe like a year or 2 already. So I'm like itching already. But we'll definitely talk that, man. But it's been a
Kyle got some nice white skin there too, man. I mean,
it's clean right now. It's like a big piece of paper.
That dude is a canvas right now, man. Blank canvas right there.
I sensed it.
I wanted to ask you, New, and like you bring up the comic book stuff. Do you like the movies, all the Marvel and DC movies? Is there one you prefer over the other? Like, what are some of your favorites?
Being a lifelong fan, I'm obligated to watch any and all comic book movies that I could like possibly. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just obligated to do it because I waited all my life to see, some of these characters fleshed out in more than just. So I'm curious to see how they would translate. And in a lot of cases, you're rewarded. Like, let's say X-Men 2, the first time that you see Nightcrawler doing his thing.
Yeah, that White House scene to me still remains one of the best scenes in comic book history, comic book film history. Yeah, absolutely love that scene, dude.
Yeah, and it was responsible for pretty much every other kind of teleportation kind of effect that you would see that came after that. Like they made a whole movie about it. What was it?
Jumper. Yeah.
Jumper. So yeah, they took that right from X-Men 2. And when it comes to the animation, like sometimes when you see a character on a page, it doesn't kind of do it justice to the possibilities like they can physically have. So like if you saw a Nightcrawler on a comic book page, basically you're limited to just drawing him either a bunch of times or just a bunch of random places to get that kind of teleportation effect. But with film, you could achieve that whole like White House scene.
Yeah.
And, so a lot of times we're rewarded, with when things like that happen. When you see Justice League Unlimited and you see Vixen for the first time and she's doing her animal thing, and you're like, oh, what I mean? Like on the page.
one of the moments that I feel reward, and it was such a simple moment, but it was like more of a finally, was the 360 shot in Avengers. Yeah. When you finally, right after. The Hulk reveals that he's always angry, and you just see that 360 shot of them doing it, bro. I remember getting fucking goosebumps. I remember that the ice popcorn flying, like your typical. What would you see hype in a movie theater is what happened during. And this was. I want to say, I don't know if it was a midnight release. It was probably a little bit earlier than midnight, but definitely the first showing. I had no early screener for that. I wasn't that cool back then. I had to wait in line, and I remember that shit happening, dude. And it was magical, man. It really was, man. You're zoned in. You're like, finally, this is exactly what you said. What I've been reading, what I've been waiting for. One of the things
there's also like mistakes that have been made along the way too, though.
Yeah, for sure. Oh no, for sure. With the good comes the bad, man. Absolutely.
It's crazy because like I just. Recently, Avengers Endgame just ended up on cable television now. So, like, it's on
TNT.
Yes, they're constantly playing it, right? And that feeling whenever you click on it, and it's always at the same scene, it feels like. And for me, it's been with Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America all walking up to Thanos, who's just sitting there in the middle of the ashes, waiting for them to fight. And I get the same reaction from myself every single time of, oh shit, here we go. And you watch it all the way up to where all the heroes come back and come fighting. Yeah. You see Captain America grab the hammer. You see how badass Thanos is. It's just like, I miss that joy of seeing that stuff in a theater and be able just to experience something new. Because like Wonder Woman wasn't it. I'm sorry. That new Wonder Woman was not it.
We talked about that briefly, man. We talked about that briefly.
That is not the movie to bring back comic book films. Oh my God.
No, it isn't. You know, let's go back very quick. One of the things that I wanted to, it was funny that you mentioned Endgame because that was kind of where I was going. So from watching the first Avengers, right, and seeing that scene to getting all this goosebump, and like I said, I wasn't cool back then. I saw it with a full theater. Kyle and I actually saw Endgame early, right? We were one of the lucky few that got selected to watch it. Our theater didn't get as wild as I feel like me and Kyle and Steve did, right? Because we lost our shit, and I felt like we were the only ones like really losing our shit in that theater. And I'm like, this is
when Ant-Man became massive and just stepped on one of those things. Like
no one said anything except for us, though. We were like, oh! and the whole theater was like, you know, and I was like, what the fuck, man? So I was so hyped because I already gotten my tickets, obviously not knowing if I was going to be able to see it earlier or not. So going in there, and this time, obviously, I know what's coming. So I'm here in like a theater packed with over 300 people in there. And then I'm like looking at like my girl's reaction to see like once like this shit goes down, once you hear to your left,
on your left.
See on your left, my bad. And you see the Doctor Strange, and you see, now Black Panther coming out, represent Black Panther always. But watching, Chadwick, everybody coming out, everybody's like, ah! Like losing their shit. Cap wielding the hammer, losing your shit, just like every moment there. Like when the Cap hammer happened, again, it was us three cheering in a theater of critics, and I was like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like, I mean, I didn't let a shit on my brain, like, at all, but it's always, and that's one thing that I will say that I miss so much about opening nights and going in the theater. It's that everybody's in there, everybody's a nerd. We're all on board with this shit, where no one's hating on this no more. Because remember, back in the day, comic books were nerdy. I remember I used to rock my Spider-Man shirt in Sunset, and everybody's like, "Bro, what are you, like 12 with a rock Spider-Man shirt?" I'm like, "You'll see, it'll come. The day will come." And then again, I miss going to the theater so much, and I'm gonna segue quickly. Godzilla is one of the first movies that Godzilla versus Kong is one of the first movies that I'm like, I need to see this in the theater.
All right,
like,
wait. I gotta know. Who do you guys think is gonna take it, Godzilla or Kong?
I think it's gonna be Kong, man. But I'm a Kong fan. I love both, but I have this thing with Kong, bro. I absolutely adore King Kong.
So here's my take. Godzilla has laser breath, Kong has a brain, and that's all that matters. Kong, like, just seeing the trailer itself, and you see that Kong, like, take advantage of the laser breath and use it to smash him. It's not even, like, he immediately throws a fist. Kong knows what he's doing. He can choke Godzilla out all he wants. Like, it's not even going to be close. To me, it should be Kong.
I think it's Godzilla, man.
Okay, let's go.
King Kong may be king, but Godzilla's God, man. Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? Like when King Kong came out, he got killed by little airplanes and shit like that. Godzilla eats airplanes for breakfast.
Listen, man, I can't believe we've reached this point in 2020 where Rebecca Hall is in a trailer saying Kong bows to nobody. And then someone like,
and we eating that shit up, bro. I'm like, give me that shit.
No.
Give me that shit.
And then Taylor comes walking around the corner and is like, think we've disturbed Godzilla. Like, it's just these great actors saying the most cheesy dialogue, and we don't care because we're going to watch these two giant creatures punch each other for 2 hours. But here's my thing. I hated the last Godzilla movie, King of the Monsters. I think that movie's bad. Like,
I don't like it either. I fell asleep twice watching that movie in an IMAX theater.
Yes.
In an IMAX theater, I fell asleep watching that towards the end. Like middle of the film, I was so bored. I was like, I knocked out, and I woke up again to see the big fight, and then I tried watching it again.
It's not his fault.
It's not the monster. The that's the thing. But this is the thing, and this is our. I think us as critics, as humans, whatever, what have you. Usually, I'm on board with, hey, you know what? Just give me the fucking monsters and fighting this and that and that. Because that was my complaint on the first Godzilla. Even though I respect the Gareth Edwards film more after seeing.
I love that movie.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the 2014 is as bad as I remember not liking it. I remember seeing that movie. I'm like, this movie's trash. Saw it again when I got home. I'm like, I mean, not now knowing that Godzilla's not in it, I'm like, all right, let me pop it in again because my expectations. I'm like, oh, when the fuck is Godzilla coming out? Never came out, only towards the end. And right when he was gonna fight, I don't remember that scene where the door's closing and it closes and it cuts to a different scene. I'm like, you motherfuckers! I've been waiting already like an hour and a half. I still haven't seen this bastard. So,
yeah, like we have some Godzilla in the Godzilla movie.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I'm like, the movie should have been called The Army Featuring Godzilla or some shit like that, man. Like, you get a little sneak peek, you know.
Cloverfield.
But it didn't. See, Cloverfield. I respect the shit out of the movie. I love Cloverfield. I love Cloverfield. I think it's super underrated film.
It's the same thing.
But it's more intense. I don't know what it is, man. At least Cloverfield had that chest burster shit in the middle of the film. You see some destruction. Like Godzilla, for me, it was I found it boring. I like it now. After watching it a couple times, I like it more than King of the Monsters because King of the Monsters did the complete opposite. They gave us all the monster fighting, which was dope, but there was no the story was
too
boring,
weak,
bro.
Yeah, it didn't hold the movie together. It didn't hold the action together. You know what I'm saying?
So I feel like this trailer alone is better than the other Godzilla film. However, one thing I will say, I saw Skull Island about 2 nights ago. That movie holds up. I fucking love Skull Island. I think Skull Island is the better of all 3 films that have come out, to be completely honest with you.
Well, I think the problem here is what they have with Godzilla is they have a challenge of where to tell the story. Like, to whose perspective are we going to tell the story? Are we going to tell it from Godzilla's perspective? Are we going to tell it from somebody else's perspective? And with King Kong, there isn't that problem. King Kong, he relates to humans, and he always usually bonds to at least one human, and that kind of drives the story. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think that kind of makes it convoluted, and the fact that at any given moment Godzilla could be the bad guy, and then all of a sudden he's saving the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Now, I mean, we all have our predictions. I have my predictions with this film. Obviously, they're pinning out Godzilla to be the villain, which we know he's not. I think there's going to be a greater force, and they're going to do, and I'm going to quote my girlfriend. They're going to do a Predator, Dylan, you son of a bitch, and it's going to be Carl Weathers, Arnold Schwarzenegger team up, and they're going to beat the shit out of whatever bigger threat there is.
Godzilla. I heard a rumor that it was going to be Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah. That they grabbed See, Kyle doesn't get it, man. Kyle doesn't get it. We're gonna say this a lot this episode. You just don't get it, bro.
This is like deja vu. This is like a conversation I had in 6th grade, I think.
No, it's because we do this to ourselves over and over again. Like with the last Godzilla movie, everyone's like, this trailer's incredible. We're going to get to watch it. This movie's going to be amazing. And then the movie sucked. And now we're going into this and we're teasing ourselves again, knowing it's the same people doing it. And they're like, no, it's going to be better this time. Like, it's probably not, but we're just there for the fight. We want to see them punch each other. We want to see them just wreck shop. The Mechagodzilla thing, man, just the name Mechagodzilla is so ridiculous, but I'm going to love it because it's a giant robot Godzilla. Where have you guys been hiding this thing this entire time? And if you had it this entire time, where was it during the last movie when there was giant monsters roaming the entire world? I can't wait to see what we do here. Let's see. And Kong's going to win, and here's why. I saw this from William Bibbiani, a friend of the show, William Bibbiani. He said King Kong's going to win, and this is why. Because they're still calling him Kong right now in the trailers. So there's going to be a line at some point where they say, now Kong is king. And that's how it's going to end.
You know what? If I was them, I would shoot 2 alternate endings. And this is what I feel that they're doing. They're putting the teaser out there. They're kind of feeling out the public reaction to it, and they're kind of seeing which way they should lean. Whether they're not the public's more with Kong, or whether they're not the public's Godzilla, and that's gonna be, the ending that they come up.
That's
with.
gonna be like a la Oliver Stone fucking endings where they rewind this shit like in Savages, be like, well, you like this ending or this ending? And then I don't know if you've seen Savages, that at the end there's a big ass fucking shootout, and they're like, oh, do you like this? And they do that shit.
You remember back in the early '90s, they did the amalgam thing when Marvel and DC got together, and they did those combo books where they combined their characters together. So and then they had the series that they would actually fight, and everybody would have to vote on who would win. So you had a lot of classic fights between like Hulk and Superman, let's say. You know what I'm saying? And this is official shit. You could look it up too.
Didn't they do it with the Joker killing Robin or something? Like if you could spare Robin or kill Robin, like that was the thing that.
That's actually canon. That's actually canon. That wasn't part of the amalgam universe. They called it the amalgam universe. So what DC and Marvel did was they set up a like a little separate side company where they released all this product out of. And it was pretty dope. They came up with like a couple of interesting ideas. They had a combination of Wolverine and Batman called Dark Claw. That was pretty cool.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
See, I knew about that, but I haven't read any of that shit.
Yeah. It had some cool concepts, man. But yeah, the way that they set it up was it was a voting system. So they might be doing something like that here, but just probably looking at the internet numbers and seeing what gets hits and whatnot,
That's dope. So right now we're in 2021. We know a couple films that are coming out now. What do you want to say is the most excited film of the year for you?
I'm just excited to be able to go to a movie theater to see something that I like.
I feel you, man. I have a couple. I can give you a top 3 or top 4 at least. I'm very excited. I think I'm probably one of the people most excited for this film, but I'm so excited for Mortal Kombat. I am honestly going batshit crazy waiting for that trailer to come out. I hope we get a R-rated trailer, a red band trailer, because they're promising us things that I've been wanting to see in a Mortal Kombat film for a long time. I'm a huge fan of the games. I till this day still play Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
I'm so waiting for that. I want to see what and they had it looks like not Scorpion. Sub-Zero is actually the villain, which is usually not that take. It's usually Scorpion being the villain. So I love that they're using Sub-Zero as the villain. Everybody's bitching about Johnny Cage not being in the film or anything like that. But I feel like they have something good because I feel like the production company they're finally doing an R rating. They're doing fatalities, everything like it's gonna be fan service. I feel like they're gonna be saving a lot of the good, more better known characters. For the sequel. So that's one that I think the earlier films coming out, I want to say that's the one that I'm most excited for. And then obviously, we're going to jump
in 2 weeks. We got the Super Bowl in 2 weeks, so just be ready. Like
yeah, that's what I'm thinking is going to drop. I think it's going to drop during the Super Bowl as well. But one and then jumping into Marvel, obviously Spider-Man, Spider-Verse coming out December, and obviously Doctor Strange. All that for me is just like
Doctor Strange.
It's what? Oh, next year? I thought it was this year.
No, this year if it's Marvel, we're getting Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man. Those are our 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just started watching the stuff that they've been releasing on the Disney Plus, like the WandaVision.
What do you think?
That they taking with that?
I'm really digging it. I know Kyle's not there yet. He told me he's like, "Where am I with this?" Right now, but
it's gonna be one of those where like I feel like I'm gonna love it by the time it's over. I need the full picture.
Yeah. It is something you should binge. I feel like again they should have released the first 3 episodes first. That the ending of the 3rd episode, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but that ending of the 3rd episode, I feel raised that question like, all right, what the hell is going on, and we'll have people talking. Because at the end of episode 2, you're intrigued, but you're like, all right, that was a little strange, but if you got the first 3 episodes off rip, you'd be like, all right, no, give me episode 4 right now because I need to know what the hell's going on, you know? So, but
Can
I
I give you
absolutely,
some of my anticipated? I want to. I know people who have seen A Quiet Place Part 2 last year, and I hate that that movie keeps getting pushed back because I'm really excited to see that one. I really want to see how it continues, how they explore this world. I haven't seen that trailer in a long time now. I just remember them looking at the first day that this all happened, and I'm pissed off that that was the next day I was supposed to go see the screening, and then everything shut down. So that makes me upset. Then we also have the Tom Cruise double feature of Top Gun Maverick and Mission Impossible 7, both supposed to be coming out this year. I mean,
Matrix. Matrix supposed to be coming out this year too.
Yeah, Top Gun was actually filmed not too far from where I'm at. Like, there's an Air Force base about 15 minutes from where I'm at, and that's where they filmed it.
Dope as fuck. Look at that. That's awesome, dude.
I can't wait to get back in theaters and see these things again. Like, Kong vs. Godzilla, I'm gonna see it in theaters. I'm gonna make sure I'm out there to see it. But like, please,
he's just not as hyped as we are.
Just don't waste my time.
We're somebody going like we're like right now we're so hyped. It's like getting back with an ex that we know is not good for us. You know, we're just gonna go back and get hurt again. This is probably what Kong vs. Godzilla is gonna do. I don't know, man. Honestly, I feel like
it's gonna be
like
bad.
It's
gonna be.
Yeah. I stay optimistic, you know what I mean? But like, I'm not expecting any major like Shakespearean thing to go down. It's Kong versus Godzilla, man.
Yeah, exactly.
One more I want to point out. There's. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm not gonna put it on a pedestal. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna go in there. I just want a good movie mashup. You know what I'm saying? Something that I could eat popcorn to and just enjoy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The good thing is this. All right, go ahead.
There's a Netflix film coming out this year with directed by Adam McKay, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, and I just feel like that's an incredible combination right there. That I don't care what they're talking about. What I think it's something to do with climate change because that's what DiCaprio loves. I will see anything that Adam McKay puts out, and then you're gonna put DiCaprio in there too. I'm sold already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised you haven't said Dune.
Oh, Dune! Nice.
I know. It feels so far away at this point.
Dune is one. There's the one that Judas versus the Black Messiah is one that I really have my eye on. It's in a couple of weeks. I think that's gonna be super dope. Like it has that kind of Black Klansman kind of feel to it. With a guy going undercover with the one of the leaders of the Black Panthers. You know, that shit looks raw, man. It looks like it's gonna be a dope film. So that's one.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of great movies that are supposed to be coming out this year, but I want to jump into our main topic now. Noon. When we approached you to come on the show, Jader got a list of movies from you. And there are some very interesting choices. I don't know if you want to lay out some of them, Jader. Like, do you know them off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, no, but give me 2 seconds and I will grab it for you, sir.
I know there were some interesting choices on there, and it came down to 2 of them. And I'm like, there's only one that we really need to tackle for people. People are really gonna something they're grasp onto. But tell me about some of your choices. Why did you have?
I got the list right here, so we'll go one by one. We have Green Street Hooligans, but we already did it on this show. We talked about this movie already, so that's why I told them we already did that. Then we had the second movie is the one we're actually talking about, so we'll wait for that. Then we have a movie called 11-14. We have Multiplicity.
Yeah.
We have The Last Dragon and Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah. So we ultimately ended up going with Big Trouble in Little China, and I've got to know, Noon, why Big Trouble in Little China? Why is this? Well, first of all, is this your favorite movie ever made, or is what's the attachment to you for this film?
It's not my favorite movie ever made, but it definitely has a strong nostalgic kind of tie for me. I remember watching this movie in '86 in the actual movie theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was born that week. Dead ass. I was born just 10 days after this movie released. I had told him, you can give me your favorites or you can give me underrated films. He's like, I'm going underrated, man. So that was the reason for it. All right.
Supremely underrated film. And when we start getting into the specifics, you'll find out like exactly why I say that.
Okay.
But the main reason is because like, okay, the atmosphere in '86, right? So Asian culture just started really making its way over here to the U.S. In the late '70s, you know, because of Bruce Lee and stuff like that. So the kung fu movies, they were being imported from China, and they were really cheap. And so for us kids growing up in New York, okay, 42nd Street in Manhattan. Now you go to 42nd Street, right? 42nd Street, you can go see like a Broadway show on 42nd Street. Before, 42nd Street wasn't like that. 42nd Street was filled with nothing but hookers, pimps, peep show theaters and stuff like that. They had head shops and whatnot. It was a really bad place to go. And it was like that 24/7, even in broad daylight. But the other things that they had over there, they had like they had weapons stores and stuff like that, and they had these really cheap movie theaters where you can go see kung fu movies like all day for like $5. You can see you just spend the whole day watching kung fu movies, and this is what me and my brother and all of our friends used to do. And so as a result of things like that happening, Asian culture started coming into like hip hop and you know, before then nobody knew what a ninja was. Ninja is now a household like word, but back then it wasn't common knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Just simple things that we take for granted like that now. It wasn't like that back then. So this movie is like an attempt by John Carpenter, right, to kind of bring
Look at that.
Asian culture to the mainstream, to the American mainstream. You know what I mean? And I love him for it. I love him for just the attempt. You know what I'm saying? Just the attempt.
Well,
And
little history. He was dying. He was dying to do a martial arts film. That's why he took it. This originally was supposed to be a Western film. They wrote it out as a Western. And then they hired Carpenter, and Carpenter was like, "No, we're not going to do this. We're going to do it this way." If I'm not mistaken, that's where I don't know if it was the writers that the new writers that they hired or John Carpenter himself, but I know somebody in charge was like, "No, we're not going to do this Western. We're going to do it. We're going to do it this way with mystical martial arts and all that stuff." So I thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, it's interesting because like some of our favorite filmmakers ever are so inspired by the culture that has to do with Asian cinema, whether it's Chinese, Japanese, Tarantino, George Lucas, Steven Spielberg. They were all influenced heavily by Akira Kurosawa with his samurai films, and then they've always been trying to recreate those. Like if you really look at Star Wars, George Lucas took so many elements from Seven Samurai or Yojimbo, like all these classic Japanese films, and brought them over here. So this was almost like John Carpenter's way of honoring that and trying to do something himself for this film in Big Trouble in Little China, which is what brings me to why this film is the way it is, which really it confuses me because I don't know what he's trying to do. It's not like a serious samurai film. It's very comical. Like it's slapstick. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, and it was done on purpose. That was all done on purpose.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, okay, so like in the case of the samurai films, right? Those are Japanese and those are very high in drama. Whereas this movie is based more on the Chinese wushu kind of films, like Five Deadly Venoms. You know, a lot of the wire kung fu movies where they have like the ponytails and they have like the big flowy costumes and stuff like that. Think more Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. These are the movies that are the precursors to that. So yeah, it was a totally I look at this movie as kind of like the combo fried rice of movies. You know what I'm saying? Because it just has everything in it.
And then we're gonna sprinkle some Kurt Russell on top of it and make it all ready.
He was obviously John Carpenter's favorite, so he had to have been in there. And okay, so as far as it being a Carpenter film and the things that he brought to it, he actually imported a lot of famous actors from those movies. So the Three Storms, they are actually superstars from the Shaw Brothers films. They've done like dozens and dozens of those movies, and you can look at their filmography. And so he wanted to make sure that they were actually in the movie. And so the fight choreography and everything like that was pretty authentic. It was done by I forgot what this guy's name was. The guy with the mustache, and he's in Lethal Weapon. He's the one that's torturing Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. But the fight choreography was pretty on point.
James Hung? Are you talking about James Hung?
Yeah. Yes.
David Lopan, right? Yeah.
And oh man, Lopan is just cool, bro. Lopan is my dude.
So this is one of the things. Lopan. Okay, so Kyle might be confused with the names and all that. So Lopan is the main villain of the film, essentially, right? He was actually his character was the influence for kind of bringing it back now to Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat. So I thought that was super dope. And Lightning obviously is Raiden from Mortal Kombat, which I thought was super dope. When I was watching the movie again, I was like, I never realized how like Raiden this guy is, and then I kind of like did some digging or whatever, and I was like, oh, he is based on this character, which is so freaking cool, man. So first time I saw this movie, there
would be no Raiden. Without this movie,
that's what I'm saying. Or Shang Tsung, like it would be a completely different character, you know. Like I felt like this was it is an influence based on beloved characters that we love, and not only that, man. There's been lots of things that they've grabbed from this movie. This movie again opened July 2nd, 86, right? Mm-hmm. It grossed that weekend $2.7 million, right? Bombed.
Yeah.
It bombed, dude. I think
it took 25.
It took about 25 to make. And yeah, dude, it grossed like 11 less than, because it ended up grossing 11 mil in North America. Well below budget, obviously. So I think I saw an interview on the Graham Norton show with Kurt Russell not too long ago. Well, I don't want to say not too long ago, maybe about a year or two ago, where he said that it's crazy to him that this movie is such a cult classic, how many people adore this film.
It's crazy.
When saying that he remembers the movie being in theater no more than 3 to 4 days because they pulled it because they didn't make any money. They pulled it right out. Mm-hmm. So you saw it opening weekend because they pulled it right out. And the reason why they pulled it was the hype behind Aliens that came out 16 days later. James Cameron's Aliens. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason why they pulled it, because they're like, we're gonna lose all the money, so we might as well just pull it now and chuck it up as a loss.
Yeah.
But
it reminded me a lot of Temple of Doom, with our hero running around with his sidekick, and they go on crazy adventures and weird stuff happens. It's the same exact movie. Clearly,
he's with a grown-up Short Round.
It really is, right? Short Round's getting married now.
So the film ultimately, it does have a 78 on Rotten Tomatoes, so it is a fresh film. You know, they kind of like, you know, categorize it as like a B kung fu film. You know, that's what it is. Again, I grew up watching this. I don't see it. I don't go back to it as often as I did as a kid. Obviously, I actually hadn't seen this movie in maybe, like 10, 15 years. It was the last time I saw this film. So obviously watching it again, I was like, holy shit, man. I still remembered it perfectly fine. Like I saw it I had this on VHS, so I used to see it all the time. But I had forgotten, and I'm like, as soon as I was watching it, because I knew Kyle hadn't seen it, I was like, yeah, he's not digging this shit. Like, I know there's no way in hell he's digging this shit. And I almost texted him, but it was kind of late, and I was like, fuck it, I'll talk to him. I'm like, I'd rather save it for the show. So, Kyle, go ahead, bro. What didn't work for you, man?
I mean,
let's get into the down and dirty, bro.
It's so goofy, and it's gonna sound elitist, but I just felt so beyond what I was watching. I want to go put on Ted Lasso, right? I don't want to watch Kurt Russell run around with this guy. And look, can we just get into the categories real quick? Because my favorite scene, I just want to jump into it. My favorite scene is when he runs over the one guy with with this truck, and the way they film it, where they you can clearly tell it's a dummy that he's running over, and he just goes he just goes right to the side, and then he gets out of the truck, and the guy just opens his mouth and light comes out. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? I have no idea what's going on. Everyone looks super cool, but I also have no idea what any of their names are or why they're doing this stuff. Guys are flying away holding lightning. It never made sense to me. And by the time, and there's a big green puff of smoke. I didn't get it. I was just not on board with this thing the entire way through. But I'm really curious to hear why people do like it, though, because I feel like I'm just missing something.
I think it's more the attempt. Like I said before, I think not so much the execution, but the intent of it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, he really tried to put a lot of actual Asian culture in it, and the problem is that when you do that without explaining what you're doing,
it doesn't translate.
Confusing your core audience, which is the American audience, pretty much.
Yes.
You know? So you remember, at that time, not everybody was familiar with Asian culture, so that I think was overlooked. The whole and okay, so Kurt Russell's whole role in the film, Kurt Russell represents all of us. Yeah. Kurt Russell is the one that's asking questions like, why is light coming out of this guy's mouth? Like, who's the gangs and what's their problem with it? He's us. He represents us in the movie. Okay. And I guess Egg Shen, the bus driver guy, he represents kind of like, whoever's trying to explain and break down, the Asian culture that we're not really familiar with. And it does tend to get confusing because, Asian culture, especially Chinese culture, is filled with a lot of ghosts and gods and demons and stuff like that. And either one of those could be interchangeable. So in Western culture, a demon is always considered bad and negative. Not so much the case in Chinese culture. In Chinese culture, you can have a ghost, demon, or something like that, and just by name, and they're not necessarily evil. So there's just a lot of confusion, I think, culturally going on with that they just didn't do a good job of explaining. They just got into just entertaining instead. So
I agree with that 100%. That was the reason for Kurt Russell's character. You nailed the nail on the head, actually. Because the movie sold as Kurt Russell being the hero of the film when it's not. It's Wang Chi, hands down. Wang Chi is the hero of this film. I just saw a comment right here that from Keith that says I saw it on 82nd Street off Roosevelt in the Jackson Theater when he saw. So yeah, dude.
Baby.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. But yeah, like Wang Chi is the real hero of the film. He's the badass. Even Kurt Russell, when they give him the gun and he starts shooting, he misses there, and the guy looks at him and he goes, and he's supposed to be this badass American big mouth hero, and they're like, "It's the first time you pop someone," and he goes, "No," but you can tell it was the first time that he's done all this shit, So I don't know. Kyle said you wanted to jump into categories. Let's go ahead.
Okay, so best scene is where we started. I already said my scene. Noon, I want to throw it to you. What is your favorite scene in this film?
My favorite scene. I mean, okay, I actually have two of them. First one is just.
I have two written down too.
Yeah. That first one is just with one of the storms, the Raiden one. That visually, as far as like being an artist and everything like that, to me, just is something that stuck with me. It resonated, and it obviously resonated with everybody else because it carried over to characters like Raiden and so forth. But the funniest scene to me is when homie blows himself up, and he just ends up a big pile of bologna, and everybody gets the bologna. Like that that to me is hilarious. That was always hilarious.
Jader, what's your pick, man?
Actually, I'm gonna segue to favorite line with best scene. So best scene for me, I have it's two as well. I love the ending, the showdown right at the end. When Wang is fighting with Rain, and they're doing the flying shit, and he's killing them, and that, you know, all that shit is super dope for me. Obviously, you look at it now, it looks cheesy as hell, but I grew up on it. And then me at the ending, man, I just love that ending showdown so much, man. Between the Chang Sing and the Wing Kongs and all the everybody just coming back and just fucking kicking some ass, right? However, I love the scene where Jack kills Lo Pang. Love that scene because it goes with my favorite line, which is in the beginning of the movie where he's driving the truck. And he goes, "It's like I told my wife. I say, honey, I never drive faster than I can see. Besides that, it's all in the reflex," which is what obviously brings back to him killing Lo Pang, because in the beginning of the movie, you see that his friend tries to cut that thing, and boom, his reflexes, he grabs that shit. Yeah. When he tries to kill Lo Pang for the first time, he throws the knife right at the end, and he fucking misses, right? Which is like, obviously, the clumsy hero is what he is. He's not a badass like Wang Chi, right? So then Lo Pang grabs it, throws the knife right back at him, grabs it, and he fucking kills him, nails him on the head, which is, again, goes back to this line with the reflexes, which I thought was super dope. I've always thought it was dope, but it really resonated with me today, where I'm like, that's dope. That's good writing on a very cheesy film that I adore, you know? So I'm like, that's dope as fuck. So that's for me right there.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'll say my favorite line. My favorite line has another one by Jack. And I just read all these in Kurt Russell's voice every time. He's just got such a unique voice. I'm surprised more people don't do impressions of him. Mine would probably be him saying, "I'm a reasonable guy, but I've experienced some very unreasonable things." I feel like I can think that way too in my life, where I think I like to be the type of person who would think things through, but you guys just keep introducing some crazy shit that I'm trying to, you're pushing my limits here. And I feel like that's Kurt Russell the entire time is, man, I can put up with some stuff, but not this. This is too much.
Yeah, again, and it goes back to you. Exactly what you just said. When you're watching a movie, a guy got run over, he opens his mouth, all this fucking line, you're like, what am I watching? I think that was so good.
New, what's your favorite line in this film?
Favorite line. Well, obviously it's actually Egg Shen. It's actually Egg Shen when in the beginning when he's getting interviewed, and then he says about the magic, and then he kind of does that thing with his hands.
Yeah, the lightning.
You know? And then he gets like all philosophical with it, and he's like, magic is real and all that shit.
Yeah, and he's protecting the hell out of Jack too.
Yeah. I forgot what the exact line is.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Don't worry about it. Don't stress it.
The ending of this film sounds really interesting. I'll have to check it out sometime.
Okay, it's amusing because it's a John Carpenter film, right? And one of the things that I love about John Carpenter and his work is that he's one of the few directors that scores his own movie. So he provides a lot of the mood for the movie. So in the movies like Escape from New York or like The Thing,
Halloween, man, biggest one to date.
I mean that is like his signature stamp. So it does have that Carpenter kind of moodiness to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that aspect is really.
A little trivia for you. Did you know that when he released Halloween, he didn't have he had none of that. So when he screamed it didn't have that shit. And someone watched and they're like, it's missing a score. You need something to help move this character or know that, you know, some shit's gonna go down. Kind of like Jaws.
Yeah.
And then he ended up going home and just hitting that key over and over again, recorded it, put it in the film. And history. So I thought that was dope as fuck, bro. I thought that was dope as fuck.
Yeah. So he you know, a lot of people, it's not common knowledge that he's the one responsible. So you know, he often gets overlooked for that kind of contribution. You know, it's a huge contribution. You know, to film, to pop culture, really.
Yes. I got a couple casting what ifs. A little different here. First is Kurt Russell turned down the role of Highlander to be in this film. He was supposed to be in Highlander.
Holy shit!
Trying to do the Big Trouble in Little
Oh
China.
no, man. There can only be one man, and that's Christopher Lambert for me. Christopher Lambert. That. Oh man, I love Kurt Russell. I don't get bored of seeing him on screen, bro. I actually, it's crazy. And I've been watching so many of his older films because my girl hasn't seen a lot of them. So I showed her Tango and Cash recently. She hadn't seen that. We obviously
too.
we Guardians of the Galaxy too. Yes, the classic Guardians of the Galaxy too. Get the fuck out of here.
Hateful Eight, man.
Hateful Eight. No. I saw. I showed her not The Shining. The Thing. She hadn't seen The Thing, so we saw that recently. And I saw Escape from New York not too long ago. So I've been watching a lot of his films, and I saw this one, and I'm like, man, this guy's just a badass, bro. I love this man.
Overboard.
Hey, I would have liked to hear Kurt try to tackle that Scottish accent though. Like,
shit.
Right?
Damn, bro, that's crazy.
I got one more casting what if. Jackie Chan was the original choice for Wang. And the studio said no because of the recent films that he was coming off of. So John Carpenter had to go in a different direction. That's obviously what we ended up getting. But can you imagine Jackie Chan in this role?
That would have dude.
Would have amped it up way past.
Oh, they fucked up. I mean, all credit to Dennis Dung that did the role because I'll get to him soon. Because I definitely gave him an award, but that would have been really interesting to see, man. It's Jackie Chan. I bet you anything the studio's shooting themselves in the fucking foot right now. You know, what could have been. Shit.
Yeah, it would have been phenomenal as far as like the action, because like even back then, Jackie was known for choreographing his own stuff, and that's part of his appeal as far as martial arts, man. Like he's a master of improv, you know what I'm saying? Like fight improv.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
that's dope.
It would have
super
been
dope.
Would have been awesome.
Damn, man. Why'd you tell me that?
Yeah, and made me dislike it even more in a way. But also, I was like, whatever. They know what they're doing. The Mahershala Ali Award for Best Sharpshooter, the character does the most in the least amount of time. Noon, who's your pick for this?
The character that does the most in the least amount of time?
Yeah, who's your favorite character that does the most, at least a side character?
The Storm, the guy that plays the wind one. He's the one that's actually like blowing the ball and torturing the guys when they're tied up on the chair. He does a lot of the grunt work when it comes to the storms and stuff like that. And whenever he moves and stuff like that, they have this like cool little wind sound and stuff like that. You know, when you're a kid, that shit's awesome. So I think he was really slick too. I think out of all the storms, he had the most classy death. You know?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He went out like a champ.
He's the one that went out like a G. He absolutely, because the other two died stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
Jader, what do you got?
My sharpshooter is actually Egg Shen, man. I thought he was such a dope character. Noon kind of hit that earlier, but he was the one that was kind of explaining what the fuck was going on and be like, yo, don't worry about it. This is the culture. And just he was funny when he needed to be funny. You know, he would throw those bombs perfectly, and you just see the bodies explode right after that. You know, I always remembered him. It's funny, man, because I saw this movie. I saw this movie after I had seen Three Ninjas. I don't know if you ever saw Three Ninjas. Yeah. So he was the grandfather in Three Ninjas. Three Ninjas was one of my childhood movies, Kyle, which is about three kids that are ninjas, but their grandfather, which is Victor Wong, trains them every summer to become ninjas, and then their dad is an FBI. It's like three American boys. The mom is, her dad was Chinese and her mom was American. So their dad is an FBI agent going up against this big bad villain. Again, this movie's PG. You know, it is a kid film essentially, but it's about them getting kidnapped, but them kicking ass because they're ninjas. But I always remember him as Grandpa. So when I saw him, I'm like, hey man, it's the Grandpa from Three Ninjas. When I saw Big Trouble for the first time, I think I was like 8 or 9. You know, it had been obviously 9 years after it had come out.
Yeah.
And it was because I was going through these martial arts stages. Because crazy enough, my introduction to Bruce Lee was actually the movie Dragon, the Bruce Lee story,
Ah.
right? But that Jason Scott Lee did playing Bruce Lee, which is the life of Bruce Lee. And then I'm like, man, this guy was so badass. And then my uncle's like, hey, you don't know what you're missing. And he gave me all like, you know, like that's when I started watching like Enter the Dragon and, you know, The Last
Yeah.
Dragon and all these other Bruce Lee movies. And that's where I fell in love with the thing. So then seeing Big Trouble in Little China and all that, that's why I kind of like obviously, you know, grew up loving this because of the
Yeah.
same thing. Just the and again, what did we grow up watching, man? We grew up watching like Ninja Turtles. You know, everybody's kicking some ass. Like you know, just like the Ninja Turtles for me. I was like, these guys are dope. They're fuck. I got a brain fart. but
yeah,
yeah,
the 80s.
Well-
In the 80s, it was all about a sword, man. Like if you had a
Yeah, man.
sword in the 80s, like
who's your favorite GI Joe, bro? Come on, man. Snake Eyes, man, hands down.
Of course, man.
I got a question. Is Egg Chen Victor Wong the guy who has the light come out of his mouth? Is that the
No.
same person?
No.
Who's that?
No, that's Lopan. That's David Lopan.
David Lopan? Okay. He's my winner
David
for
Lopan is the villain.
Okay.
He's your winner for what?
He's my winner for this award. I don't know if he qualifies, but just when he opens his mouth and light comes out, like Men in Black to me, and I couldn't. It's an image I'm not gonna get out of my head for a while now. It reminded me of what was the Edgar Wright movie, The World's End, where they all just open their mouths and
All the
light
lights.
comes
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
It's pretty
disturbed me in a way. So where I was like, I don't know if I want to keep watching this. I'm gonna get cursed. And it kind of knocked me out. So this
That's
is
funny.
James Hong. I mean, great mouth opening performance right there by you, sir. We move on
Jesus
to the
Christ.
Bill Murray Award for to the Bill Murray Award for best cameo. I'll start here. I really don't have a winner for this. I don't
Me
know
neither.
if anyone really made a cameo, or
Yeah.
if it did, it wasn't significant enough to where you're like, okay, that's where I want to, I want to highlight that. So I don't have a winner for this. Jader, you say you don't have a winner for this. Noon, do you?
I do not.
Other than Kim Cattrall.
No, she's not even. She's not even a cameo. She's in this movie. That's why I was like, I was
Is
thinking
she-
about giving it to her. I'm not gonna let you. Or the other green-eyed. I
Is
forget
he
her
in
name.
the
Ming
movie?
Ming.
Is Kim Cattrall in the movie really?
I don't know if she knows she's in the movie.
She's the female lead, but you're right. She got the best cameo. But yeah, dude. No, I really don't have anything for this one, dude.
All right,
Nah.
so that takes me to the Gary Oldman Everyone Award for overacting, and the winner for this time is actually everyone, because everyone is
Yeah.
overdoing it.
Yeah.
Look.
All the villain.
all the villains.
I actually, you know what's funny? I actually do have James Hung for this, like as my number one. But then I put because I was like, I wrote his name down, David Lopan, and then I was like, all the villains. Because it's funny, man. There's some scenes with him where it's too much, man. It's a little too much with him. Where I was like, just bring it down a notch, man. just a bit. But
it's like it was a movie kind of without direction. You know what I'm saying? As far as like which they like one day they woke up, they were doing this movie, and then the next day they were like, okay, let's do this movie, and then after
no, this is gonna be a little serious, and then you have that serious tone to it, and then all of a sudden they're like, no, comedy, going with a action comedy now, but we're not gonna reshoot anything else. We're good.
You know what? I recommend this movie to anybody who's doing coke. If you do coke and you have a low attention span, watch this movie. You'll love it.
Do you have a winner for this Noon for this award, the overacting award?
Kurt Russell, man. Kurt Russell is the overacting in this one, man. I mean, from the beginning, he's laying it on thick on the CB radio. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you, he's almost like an announcer. You know?
Yeah. It's just like whoever's listening, bro. Listen to me talk some shit.
like, listen here, pal. Like you know what I'm saying? Like his dialogue and stuff like that is like total like it's almost like I don't know, like one of those serial one of those old serials that they used to show, you know, like yeah, this is before you guys' time. Never mind.
Talking about like what, like the Kaboom cereal and shit like that, like the tricks are for kids and all that bullshit. I'm not that fucking young, bro.
Okay,
It's good to have somebody older than me on the show finally.
But you guys look so youthful and beautiful.
There you go, man.
I got a couple interesting details in here. You guys are gonna love this right here. So the three storms were partially the inspiration for the popular character of Thunder God Raiden from the Mortal Kombat fighting video game series, while David Lo Pan was the inspiration for the evil sorcerer Shang Tsung.
I've never heard that before.
Yes.
My bad, bro. Did I shit on your segment, bro? My bad.
You're gonna love this, right? What else I got here? Kurt Russell, like I said, turned down the role of Highlander. We also have something like that he was very hesitant to do this film in the first place because he had tons of flops before this, but then he just decided, I want to make a movie with John Carpenter again. So that's why he hopped in here.
This is his third film with him, I think, right? If I'm not mistaken.
We got The Thing, Escape from New York.
The Thing, Escape from New York, and this.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think they actually worked together on this Elvis movie that I had no idea about. But I don't know if it was Carpenter. I don't know if he directed or produced it. It was like a TV film, but I know they had worked together for that. It might be even 4.
Oh, they've worked together 5 times actually.
Yeah.
Escape from LA, right?
And you got Elvis in 1970.
There you go. There you go, Elvis.
And
there you go.
Reason why they picked him to do 3,000 Miles to Graceland when Kurt Russell was in 3,000 Miles.
I fucking love that movie, dude.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, they picked him for that one, the Elvis shit.
Dope shit. What else you got for us, Kyle?
One last thing is Kurt Russell suffered a bad case of the flu during the scene just after the brothel. So that's what the sweat on his body is real. And it's caused by a fever, which is very disturbing to hear right now, especially with what we're going through.
You nasty bastard, go home.
Yeah. You showed up to set with a fever, you probably got everybody sick.
Jeez.
So inconsiderate.
I got a little bit for you as well, Kyle.
Okay.
But I just don't see it. Maybe you guys can help me out because Sam's seen this movie. But apparently Taika Waititi, Thor's Ragnarok was a huge influence. Big Trouble was a huge influence for Ragnarok.
Really?
Yeah, this is cited, dude. Taika said that this was one of the biggest inspiration for him to do Ragnarok. I can't put scenes together, to be completely honest with you. But I read it and I was like, oh shit, I kind of like this info.
Well, maybe the setting, like what's it called? Sakaar, that planet area when they're in the villages. I can see having the same design as Little China, or as the setting that they had for Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
So I can see that influence. As far as characters or plot or storyline, I don't see it.
I think it's more on the visuals. I think it's the use of colors, the color palettes and stuff like that they use.
That definitely works. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like
that absolutely works.
Use that at the end and stuff like that. All the neon and whatnot. I think that's more of the visuals of is what they get from it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you got a my bad. You got a little shout out here from Keith. I don't know if you see it. Kyle, bring it up to the screen. Where it says good job.
Thanks, brother.
But what was I gonna say? Damn, I had something else for you. I completely forgot.
Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. I thought I had.
We have 2 more categories here, and we're gonna get to our 2 big ones. Apex Mountain is our next category. This is the point in someone's career where they're at the peak. It never got better for them after this. They had their most pull they could have ever had. Who has had an Apex Mountain from this movie? And Noon, I want to start with you here. Does anyone qualify for this?
Like what? Like okay, so this movie is the top of their career, and after that, you never hear from them again.
No, it's just that it never really got better for them. Like when you look back at their career, this was their peak.
I'd say the guy that plays the friend, the best friend, the one that
Wang Chi.
Wayne, not Wayne Chi, but his friend, the one that also works
Oh,
in
the
the
one that hooks up with the redhead or the other
yeah
chick into the film.
yeah the chick that
Okay.
guy that
Yeah, you're right. I've never seen him again, so
bro, I
you're
wonder
probably right.
what restaurant he's working at right now. That's that's
Wait. I'm gonna look up his IMDb to see if he.
Maybe it
Oh
did.
shit, he's in Avengers. He's in the
no
first
way,
Avengers film. I swear to
no,
God. But he
no way.
plays World Security Council. Is who he plays. I mean, he's not a major character or
There's
anything,
one of the
but
voices,
his
probably.
career did get better, sir. He's in.
Whoa.
Let's see what we got. He was in the show Equalizer. Then Big Trouble was his first film. There's another movie called One Crazy Summer. Memoir.
Crazy.
Oh, he's in Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee. I love that.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Yeah.
He's in
Underrated.
Saved by the Bell Hawaiian. When they go to Hawaii.
Okay, so I am wrong.
So homie's done some shit, man. He's in U.S. Marshals. He's in the sequel to The Fugitive.
What?
He's in dude.
I am
So it did get better.
It did get better. He's in Shameless.
I am so wrong. Okay.
He's in Hawaii Five-0.
What's his name?
Donald Lee.
Donald Lee. My apologies, Donald Lee. Hats
I know
off.
you watching, Donald. My bad, man. Our bad.
It's weird to pick anyone for this because I just don't know Chinese cinema that well. Because I could say Dennis Dunn, it never got better for him as far as American cinema goes. But for Chinese or Japanese cinema, he could have had some of the biggest hits ever, and I just don't know at this point. So if you want to just stick with American films, Dennis Dunn, I think, qualifies. It's definitely not Kim Cattrall. It's not. It's not.
I was gonna
Kurt
say
Russell.
Kim Cattrall just to fuck around, but you're right.
It's not Kurt Russell, but what is Kurt Russell's? I think that's a discussion we should have. What is Kurt Russell's peak? Because I feel like he's just been consistently been lovable his entire career.
Like his peak? Fuck.
Is it Santa Claus? I feel like it might be Santa Claus.
Shut up.
I don't know if Santa Claus, man. I think
it's weird,
Damn,
right?
Man.
What was the top of Kurt Russell's career? I just feel like he's always been a movie star.
He is. I don't think he has one, to be honest with you, because I'm looking at his IMDb right now.
yeah.
Oh shit! You know what I just found out that I didn't know? This is a nice little 5-pointer question. He was the voice for Elvis in Forrest Gump.
See?
Dope, dope as fuck.
Was it that one Elvis?
One of my favorite characters of it is Wyatt Earp in Tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I think he's so dope in that movie, man. But look, man, if you look, his filmography is out of hand, man.
Yeah.
It really is out of hand.
It is.
Sky High.
God damn, why are you bringing up the crap, bro? I'm here talking about good shit, and you're like, Sky High, bro.
Wait, Sky
Christmas
High.
Chronicles over here.
Sky High held it down for us in
Yeah, it did.
huge dark period of comic movies where we didn't have shit but Sky
No.
High.
I thought that main guy was Drake from Drake and Josh for a long time.
No. Yo, he has so many dope films, bro. Look, let's start. Look, we'll start just in 80s, man. He has Escape from New York. He has The Thing, Swing Shift, which is great. Big Trouble. He has
The Fox and the Hound.
I did Fox and the Hound. You're absolutely right. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. You have Big Trouble, Overboard, Tequila Sunrise, which I love as well. Tango and Cash, Backdraft, Tombstone, Stargate, Executive Decision, which blows my mind still to this day. His scene in that movie, I was like, what?
Yep.
He has Breakdown is another movie. He has Escape from LA, which I fucking hate that movie. But Breakdown, which
you didn't like Snake Plissken on a surfboard? You didn't like that shit?
No man. You know what I loved as a kid in that movie, to be completely honest with you? The scene where the underwater scene where you see everything's underwater in LA, but you see Universal Studios and you see the Jaws tries to bite whatever he's on, and I'm like, what? But I loved it as a kid because I'm like a theme park whore, and I was like, best scene in the movie. But yeah, that movie's all sorts of fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
Breakdown is like a ransom with Kurt Russell. It's they take his wife in a truck, and he's a trucker, and he's trying to find his wife. No one, he doesn't know where the hell he is. Soldier, you ever see Soldier? Where they're trained as like kids. It's funny. It's with Jason Scott Lee. He's the villain in the movie, but they're trained as kids to be like these ultimate like future soldiers and shit. And it's like a kind of like a Die Hard in the future.
Oh, did they have this eyepiece?
Yeah, they had the ID right here.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the eye. No, that's Universal Soldier. You're thinking Universal Soldier,
Right.
But this is just Soldier.
Okay.
So whatever. After that, you have 3,000 Miles to Graceland. He's in Vanilla Sky. He's in that movie Miracle, which is fucking dope.
Mm-hmm.
Sky High. I guess I'm going to mention Sky High. He's fucking Stuntman Mike in Death Proof.
Yes.
Yes. Then Furious at Bone Tomahawk, another movie. No one talks about Bone Tomahawk. Super dope film. Yeah. Furious 7, obviously. Hateful Eight, Deepwater Horizon, Fate of the Furious, Guardians of the Galaxy, Christmas Chronicles, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Christmas Chronicles Part 2.
Stellar career.
You can't, man. You can't pick one, man. But if I had to pick a favorite Russell film, man, it has to be the same. Like that's hands down my favorite.
Yeah. It's not Guardians 2?
It's definitely not Guardians 2. We're not talking Marvel films in this movie. No, I mean in the show no more, man. But everybody knows for the record that I do not like that movie. All right. So yeah, I don't honestly for Apex. I had Dennis Dunn. I still kind of want to put him on there because for me, looking at his IMDb, I don't feel like it got any better, to be honest with you. He did one film with Carpenter right after that.
Well, let's talk Carpenter too, real quick, because this is not his Apex Melon, but what is?
Hell no. Halloween, probably.
Yeah. You think it went? I feel like Halloween?
I think Halloween is just, I don't think he's topped that for me. Like, I love The Thing more than I love Halloween. But if you're talking about directing, overall success, music score, like everything like that comes to like height of career, I feel like Halloween is when you think Carpenter. For me, I don't think The Thing. I think Halloween, even though The Thing is for me my favorite Carpenter film. Mm-hmm. You know. Mm-hmm. That's just me. He wrote and he's wrote these films. He wrote The Fog. He wrote Halloween. He wrote They Live.
Christine's great.
Exactly. Christine's great. So there's just so much shit. And again, he's writing, directing, composer for his film. Like this dude is another one, man. That is, fuck.
I mean that allows you to, as far as filmmaking, I think that allows you to bring your final vision more into fruition than just leaving it up to somebody else to score it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. There's again, if you go with him, I mean, he started off early, obviously, with little short films. But if his first feature film is Dark Star, then you have
Assault.
Assault on Precinct 13, which super dope film. I even like the Ethan Hawke one. That one's super dope too. Yeah. You have that Halloween. You have that Elvis movie. You have a TV movie called Someone's Watching Me. Then you have listen to this right here, right from the 80s. The Fog, Escape from New York, The Thing, Christine, Starman, Big Trouble, Little China, Prince of Darkness, They Live. That's literally his 80s. Get the fuck out, bro. Like
They Live.
Stellar career, man.
Underrated movie, man. They Live is another underrated one.
Hell yeah, man.
They Live is intense. Like that movie is ahead of its time.
Yeah, I love that film.
Yeah. Conceptually, man. I mean, if they were to remake it, I wouldn't be too mad because, like, as long as it's handled with respect, it should be really interesting. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it should be able to translate to modern times pretty easy.
Yeah, they can do that with modern times, but I don't know, man. It's fucking classic, dude. There's just some films I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're right. They can probably. There's just for me. There's some films you don't touch, bro. You
Bro,
don't make that again.
Can I bring up one thing I kind of want to talk to you guys about? The poster for this film. It is Kurt Russell in a tank top, looking all super buff and sexy and whatnot, and then Kim Cattrall grabbing him from behind and looking off into the distance while Kurt Russell's holding a gun and a knife. And Dennis Dunn is nowhere to be seen on this poster. And then you got the villain in the back with the lightning. Is this just to appeal to American audiences? Like, I feel like Carpenter knew
1,000%. 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that there was probably some draft with this where they wanted to make this an all Asian film, maybe, and obviously they needed to sell it to the United States, so they needed to put a white hero.
Right?
It's a whitewashing shit, you know. But it was obviously
we need Matt Damon.
Yeah. Well,
fortunately, like in the 80s, like there were a lot of attempts to kind of like be universal as far as like race and stuff like that ended up being a little bit like campy and racist, because like if you look back at like G.I. Joe, right? Yeah, they tried to represent all the races, but it was racist. It was a stereotypical representation. So like, yes. Okay, so you had the Native American guy. He talked all like this, and he had an eagle with him. And and then the black guy, Roadblock, he was always talking in rhyme and jive and all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, oh, come on, guys.
No, and this movie has a lot of that shit too. In fact, people are getting pissed off. If you see what like Roger Ebert and like a lot of like high critics like shit on this film when it first came out, because they were saying, "Yo, this shit is racist, bro. What the fuck are you guys doing?" You know, it's honestly like what he said in short.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, man. But I mean, I don't know if you saw the poster before you saw the movie, Kyle, or you just saw the poster for the first time now.
No, I kind of knew what I was getting into with watching this, because
I was gonna tell you, because if this poster doesn't give it away, I don't know what will, bro. That shit is bizarre, bro. I used to love that cover because it looks so creepy, and I honestly thought it was a horror movie the first time I was gonna watch this movie. And then I was like, that's why I was like, no. Like, I remember I was like, scared shitless of horror films when I was a kid. And I had the cover of it. And I was like, I don't want to watch it. And then they're like, dude, it's a funny movie, man. Watch it. And then they're like, it's an action comedy. I was like, all right, cool. Ended up loving it as a kid. I remember first time I saw it, I think that weekend I saw it like 3 or 4 times alone. Like, just rewind it, put it again. So I really dug this movie when I was growing up. That's why when you said it, I was like, bro, I haven't seen it in a long time. Fucking down. I remember what I was going to say that I blanked out. There is a reboot in the works for this.
No way.
Huh?
No way.
Yeah. They mentioned it last year, if I'm not mistaken. Kyle, I don't know if you want to hook me up with that, but if you want to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's with The Rock. I think The Rock is in talks to remake this film, if I'm not mistaken.
Written by Gary Goldman. I thought it was Gary Oldman for a sec. It's like, why is Gary Oldman writing a reboot of Big Trouble in Little China? Dwayne, The Rock is supposed to be in this. That's just perfect Rock cheesiness. Like, this is exactly what he does. He's gonna hop into this film. It's gonna make $100 million opening weekend.
$1 billion, $1 and it's supposed to be less racist. So that was the first thing I think out of their mouths. Like, it's less racist. We got this. And The Rock brings in money because that motherfucker puts butts in seats, bro. No ifs, ands, and buts, man. No pun intended.
And then you know what to expect with a Rock movie too, because the plot's all the same. It's like muscles win the day. That's basically it. That's the moral to every Rock movie. Is muscles win the day. Fucking big ass animals rampage fucking happens. Muscles wins the day. Earthquake movie, Muscles wins the day, bro.
He can stop an earthquake. He can stop a skyscraper. He can handle a giant gorilla.
I haven't seen Skyscraper, but I hear that he jumps on a building. His big ass jumps on a building with duct tape, and he starts climbing the fucking building with duct tape. I was like, get the fuck out! I have to see this movie.
That's that cardio. Those gains.
All right, let's wrap this up with our final category here. Who won the movie? Noon, you're our guest. Who won this film?
Well, shit, man. I think Kurt Russell, man, for all his his overacting, man. You know what I'm
We're
saying?
Americans.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure that the Chinese people, when they watch this movie, he stands out like a sore thumb too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it would be nothing without him. It would definitely not have the same appeal as it did. I mean, he definitely brings a lot to the film. He pretty much carries it for all his cheesiness. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you know, he deserves his props.
Jader, who do you got for this?
This is the award that I wanted to give Dennis Dung to.
Okay.
Reason why is because, again, as much as I loved Russell and all this in this movie, I feel like, dude, he honestly, he was so overlooked. I thought he was a dope character, right, from the very beginning. He kicks ass. I love the again, going back to the scene where they throw Russell the gun to shoot. This motherfuckers are like, bah, 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 just like kicking ass and taking names, right? You know, all this to get married with the green-eyed girl. And just his character, again, is the real hero of the story. And I felt like he's the one that won the film. I don't think in his career he won, but in this, like, just being overlooked and everything, like, I want to give him, at least for me, you wanted my heart, bro, you know? I thought he was just such a dope character. I always have, man. I always thought he was good. Growing up and watching this.
And like, he's likable. Like, you definitely feel for him.
Yeah, he's just and it's funny, man, because I obviously remember him, but in the beginning when he kind of pulls the knife on him and he goes, nothing or double, which bothered the shit out of me for some reason, where he kept saying nothing or double, nothing or double. And I was like, God damn it, man, say it right. but as he was doing that, I'm like, this guy's doing that. I'm like, why is he being a dick? Like,
it bothered me. It's like whenever you see someone go to one of those drop boxes and there's the corner of it didn't fully go down, and but you can't get to it to push it down all the way. You're like, damn it, just fix it. Go back.
Exactly. I think you should change. I think you should change your quote to that one. The nothing or double.
Nothing or double. But yeah, man, it bothered the shit out of me.
It's like when you're driving and you see that sign that says fog smoke, and you're like, just say smog. There's a word for this. Why did you put two words?
But yeah, Dennis Dung, man, Wang Chi, fucking hero throughout the movie, man. He kicks some ass, gets the girl at the end, bro. He won the fucking film.
Cool.
I went with Kurt Russell just because he's Kurt Russell, and he's, you know, just super charming as a person. Like, if we ever do a list of the most charming actors ever, he has to be top 5, somewhere in there, because it doesn't matter what he does. I just feel like he's just a good person, no matter what, through it all. I mean, honestly, you guys laughed at me earlier. He's great as Santa Claus in the Christmas Chronicles.
No. I laughed when you said height of his career. That it's not. But I actually really enjoyed. I haven't seen the sequel, but the first one I really enjoyed. It caught me by surprise because I saw that movie with my kids. Like, they were wanting to see a Christmas movie, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then they're like, "Dad, I want to see it." I was like, "All right." So I put it on. Kurt Russell in it, whatever. But he was a dope Santa, man. He was awesome. Like a take no shit Santa. I like that.
Tim Allen has to be sitting at home going, like, damn it. Like, he took Santa.
Yeah. Because that was the Santa for me. Like, honestly, Tim Allen and Santa Claus, I love that fucking movie.
They took Buzz Lightyear from him, too. They gave it to Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America's Buzz Lightyear now. But yeah, dude. So I wasn't shitting on that. I was shitting on the fact that you said that that's the height of his career.
It's funny. But no, I think he wins this movie to me because he's on the poster. He's the face of it all. And Kurt Russell is just Kurt Russell. You're never going to top him. Even though I know you don't like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Jader, I think he's just, you know, he's a great presence to have around in any film possible. So Kurt Russell's always going to win if he's in a film. And guys, that is going to do it for episode 36 of the Jader and Kyle Show. Noon. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. It was a pleasure getting to meet you and have you on our show for the first time.
Yeah, he's coming back. I already told him that list. We're doing The Last Dragon, so he's coming back. Don't worry about it, folks. He'll be back. Go ahead, sir. Sorry to interrupt.
Again with the cheesy 80s kung fu.
Oh, boy. Noon, tell us about what's going on in your world. Where can everyone find you? What do you want to promote?
Right now, I'm really heavy into doing my show, The Nooner. You can find it on YouTube, on my channel, Love My Chiba. That's with 5 L's. Love My Chiba. You could also hit me up for some tattoo work. And I'm going to be making some video cameos and some videos that I've been shooting over here in Texas. And working on some small movie projects, too. So be on the lookout for those things.
Good shit, man.
You're on Cameo? You're on Cameo?
Am I on Cameo?
Yeah, you said
no. Movie like cameos, like that he's gonna appear. Movie cameos.
No. That website Cameo where you could pay people to shoot a 30-second video of themselves talking to you. I thought you meant you were on Cameo. I'm like, whoa, this guy's big time.
No. Soon.
Now I'm gonna look into it.
No, Noon, it was such a pleasure to have you on this show, man. We really appreciate it. We're gonna get you back. Don't worry. This will not be the last time you're on the Jader and Kyle show. So it was a pleasure. Jader, any last things you want to say?
Nope. Just my draft this Friday. You guys check it out. See what team I end up in the Schmodown. Big league. Excited as hell. Like I said, we'll see where I end up. And that's pretty much it. Obviously,
what shows we have coming this week?
No, I'm getting to it, bro. I'm getting to it. Relax. Woosah, bro. I got this. Got this. I saw Blue Streak the other day with Luke Wilson, and I forget how hilarious that movie is. Yeah, we have, again, I have that. Obviously, if you guys are tuned in here, you're going to see me and Kyle. We actually have, I think, 5 guests already lined up, man. So we're gonna have, and we have some great movies coming up, man. So tune in on that. Then obviously you're in the Pop Culture Pros channel on Mondays. We got the A to Z program with Eric. Tuesday, the Just Too Sweet show. And then we're gonna either have the 4 Quarters show or the Granite Speech C. Wednesday, tomorrow, put it in the books, Mets for the Mets. And then tomorrow is actually they're gonna be recapping the championship Sunday recap. And then this Saturday, brand new show, the debut of Pro Tunes. They're gonna have a Doors episode. So if you guys are into tunes music or any of that, just tune in and help the guys out. I will have an episode coming up, and yours truly down here, however you want it, will be joining me on a deep conversation of some real hip hop we're gonna talk about. So look out for that shit.
Yes.
And guys, please check out everything we got going on this network. There's a lot of great shows. It's really starting to grow here. So you guys sticking along and hanging out with us, it truly means a lot every single week. So thank you for that. And that's going to do it for us this week on another episode of the Jader and Kyle